There she is.
Amanda Ray.
Hi. How are you?
How's it going, buddy?
It's great.
Well, good.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this a bunch of times, actually, in the last several months. This is going to be one of those, at least for me, maybe even more for Tara, or less for Tara, but I barely know you at all. And
I feel like nobody knows me.
I know. And I kind of love doing these like that because we didn't even hardly even pre-show it. We just kind of hung for a little bit, but
purposefully.
This will be kind of fun. So if there's something super obvious about your life, like I can't believe you didn't know this about me already. Like I was a big McDonald's commercial teen kid, and I can't believe you didn't know it, Dan. How could you not know?
The Ronald McDonald for 15 years.
Don't be mad.
I don't know how else to feel. I have a right to feel upset about this.
I can't believe you don't know. I played Ronald.
I was totally Ronald McDonald for 15 years.
Yeah.
God. I've always wanted to be a mascot. Like, I've always wanted to be one of those sports mascots. And
one of my best friends got to be Chuck E. Cheese at Chuck E. Cheese.
Really?
Yes, and she got Employee of the Month every single month.
Oh my God!
When she worked there, yes, she's incredible. She's one of my best.
Is that
friends.
all she did, or did she work there normal too?
I don't know. I feel like she probably did other things, but I think that she told me they put her in the Chuck E. Cheese suit a lot because she did such a good job.
Oh, that's cool.
So
as Chuck E. Cheese.
As Chuck E. Cheese,
because was it one of those things where she couldn't talk?
I think
obviously.
so. I think she could not talk.
Sure.
If you're Chuck E. Cheese.
If you're Chuck E. Cheese.
Hello, kids.
No, mascots don't talk.
I think that they have somebody that goes around with Chuck E. Cheese now.
Yeah, probably.
I don't remember. I go to Chuck E. Cheese often enough that I should know. But I try not to look at Chuck E.
Because you got little ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are your little ones?
My little ones, Warren and Laszlo, and they are 10 and 5.
10 and 5.
We're almost
Warren
10.
and Laszlo. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like Laszlo. I've never heard of
Warren.
Laszlo.
Nobody names their kid Warren.
Well, Warren's actually Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Isn't that's probably the only other Warren I know.
Is Warren named after someone specific?
I really liked Warren Beatty.
Nice.
Warren Beatty.
I was very into old Hollywood. And so I was 18 whenever I got pregnant with him. And whenever I was in high school as a teenager, I loved old Hollywood. I was all about it. And so I just thought, this guy is so cool. Bonnie and Clyde. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It was a great name to me. And so that's what I picked.
How about Laszlo?
Yeah.
Laszlo. Okay, so Drew, my ex-husband, came up with that name. And it was kind of hard because he didn't want to pick a name. He was like, no, I can't just pick one. And I said, well, I can't just wait until this baby is born to pick a name.
Okay.
That's not right.
You gotta
I said, I don't like that.
Figure this out.
I'm thinking about names. I'm putting them together in my phone. I'm sending them to you. Like, we're going to pick one. And so we had kind of just been shooting down each other's suggestions. And then one day we were in the car driving and he goes, okay, what about Lazarus? And we call him Laszlo. And I go to say no. I was like, actually, that's really good.
That's cool.
So that's his name. Lazarus.
Love it.
Lazarus.
2 baby boys.
Laszlo. I love it.
Laszlo. That's fantastic.
People always say Camp Laszlo. I don't know. I don't really know what Camp Laszlo is. And there's something else that that people bring up, but I can't remember.
I don't know what else is Laszlo? Like Lazarus, I get. That's a big name, but Laszlo, there's something else. I think
there is, and Laszlo Honeycutt.
I don't know.
Somebody
chime in if there's a
never
Laszlo.
Somebody's got to know.
We do have a chime in already from Michelle Phillips. She used to also be Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God!
Get a load of those apples.
I did not. What is going on with my tall hair?
It's fine.
This is 2007, and
I'm just whatever happens when the headphones go on. Holy
You're
cow.
rocking the 07.
I'm rocking the 07, the big. Whatever that is. Okay. Screamer Dreamer Medication Information says Camp Laszlo was a Nicktoons cartoon.
yes,
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's
somebody knows more than
our
me.
researcher that chimes in once in a while. And then Michelle also says, I quit because they cut my hours. When I went to pick up my paycheck, the managers begged me to come back.
Huh.
It's like,
Oh, man.
okay, that's kind of a contradiction, right?
Oh, I cannot imagine Michelle Phillips as Chuck E. Cheese.
I
That
totally
is so...
can.
No, I mean, I can.
But she's so short. She's about How tall are you,
I
Michelle?
can't imagine it. I'm just saying that would
almost make more sense. It's always weird when Chuck E. Cheese is super tall.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't understand why they do that. That's scary.
I agree.
I've heard.
not like Chucky.
I've heard, and I know it's it's like Disney is kind of like mafia, but the meaning the characters on the parks, it's like a real big deal that nobody finds out who they are or sees them at all. Like it's a major thing. I've heard that Mickey Mouse is usually a female.
Right, because they wanted him small, right? Maybe.
Well, I mean, he's a small character. I've seen him several times. The real one.
Mouse.
Because he's a mouse.
He's
mousy.
Right.
Mice are small.
Listen, mice are at the very least they're not 7 feet tall. That does not make sense.
It does not make sense. You are correct.
I found myself one time having a beer with a truck driver that was driving for the band U2. They actually had just gotten there early that morning, and there was a bar right next to the stadium that opened at like 9 a.m.
Nice.
So I had tickets for that show. It was in like Indianapolis or something. And we go to the bar to kind of wait for the stadium to open, and we're hanging out with these guys that just got done driving overnight for U2. What they used to do before they drove for U2 was drove for Barney the dinosaur. And they said the after parties of those, it was one of those kind of ice-capades. He said, you wouldn't fucking believe it, bro.
Wow.
It's like the two guys that played Barney, they were both gay guys and awesome dudes. They just thought they were, because they need to be able to do awesome stuff that straight people usually can't do. But all
Sorry, straight people.
Yeah,
really sorry.
Hey,
Sorry, straight people.
But
Sorry.
I've never seen you jump up and split your legs in the midair. I've never seen a straight guy.
No. And you know what? If one of you out there can do it, then let's see it.
Then let's see it. Absolutely, right? Yes.
And then most all the other characters were little people, whatever we're supposed to call them.
I think they're supposed to call
Children?
them. No,
no,
like
like
little
like
people.
little dwarfs
Because
or
we can't say the word midget anymore.
dwarfs or midgets or whatever, and they would party their dicks off. He said they would be out. Seriously, they would
little
be
people dicks.
Yeah, little people dicks.
I would love to see a bunch of little people partying. Oh my
they,
God.
They would be all
their
out
dicks
in the
out.
parking
With their
lot.
dicks out.
They'd be in the parking lot riding their little bikes and all kind of stuff. These guys were like,
Their little bikes.
it was the funniest thing in the world. They'd just drink their ass off and party.
What about, you know, the cast of The Wizard of Oz was all like little people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what if do you guys think about maybe they were partying their dicks off?
Yes,
when
I
they
would-
shooting The Wizard of Oz.
They had to have.
Damn.
Back in the day, I want to see that party.
They had to have.
Freaking, oh my God, with the monkeys and the crazy monkey. What were they called?
You know they use those monkey costumes.
No shit. They're furries. The furries go way back, man. Oh,
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's a whole different kind of show.
Can you imagine them drinking and putting those costumes
Putting
back
those
on?
costumes on and
All
making
the
fun of
little-
each other.
Yeah, all the little kids have left,
Yeah.
and they're just like, ah.
And they're all making fun of Ray Bolger. Put my arm over there. Like, my arm over there. Like, Ray. I totally took that from Louis
I
C.K.
think we're jumping back. You stole it?
I
You stole
that
some
from
comedy?
Louis C.K. I
Oh
always
my
steal
gosh.
comedy.
Well,
'cause
if it's funny and it works.
Yeah,
Right.
if it's funny and it works.
I'll give credit where credit's
Just
due.
give some credit.
Louis C.K.
That's good, man. Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. Look, and we've got some more. She's Michelle is just going nuts here. She was
I
just
can't wait to tell my friends.
She was like, I was that good. She is 4'10".
410.
Our friend Michelle. She was Chuck E. Cheese. She goes, I was also Mr. Munch. And the Chuck E. Cheese costume was really big. And she goes, oh my God, Barney is creepy. And Lisa Betancourt's here. Susan Whedon was Kansas Jayhawks. Oh, the Kansas Jayhawks mascot.
Awesome.
I'm so
Oh,
jealous.
so cool.
I want to be a mascot.
This is
so
great.
bad.
Have you ever been one?
Have you? Me? You talking to me or her?
Anybody?
No, I've never.
I've been a mascot.
It's a bucket list
Not
for
that I
me.
remember.
I want to
No.
be some sort of mascot.
I don't think I've ever been a mascot.
I remember one time when Johnny Q. Public was going to play downtown at the Outland Ballroom.
Johnny Q. Public was a band he was in the 90s, just
Okay,
to
cool.
refresh, in case you don't know.
In case I was just born
It's-
in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, you probably weren't born yet.
And that picture comes from the video that was on MTV.
one.
Yeah.
So cool. I love that picture.
Yeah.
His son painted that. and
I
that
love
one-
it.
That one of me.
I love that one too.
Yeah.
I was just looking at them earlier and trying to figure out who picked it.
We
So-
rented a costume that was a pig. And then we made like a sandwich sign that said Johnny Q Public's playing down. I think it was the Outland Ballroom. Might have been the Burgundy Room. I can't remember. And we stood out on street corners in front of traffic. Then we got bored with that, and we went out to, there was a place called Remington's.
I remember
which is
Remington.
the cowboy
Southside?
giant Southside dance
It's
bar.
a church now.
We went there in the pig outfit.
Did you
my.
all have pig outfits, or was
No,
there just one? Okay.
And we were escorting the pig, and we barely got in the door. The guy was like, dude, we can't do this. Like, come on, man. It's funny. It's funny. it's no big deal.
hilarious.
And we all went in there with stacks of flyers advertising our show at another
bar.
club.
Oh, okay, I love this. I have ideas like this. Like, I want to do crazy stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to get groups to want to do some wild stuff like that to draw
Yes.
some attention.
Absolutely.
But I think it would be so fun.
It
Like,
was.
let's dress up as our personas and go out and
Yeah.
just like talk to people.
It's
you know?
totally worth it. It was hilarious. We went out there, and at one point I was the pig, and my bandmates were passing flyers out, and I'm on the dance floor, and I'm being kind of grotesque,
Which is a giant
Uh-huh.
dance floor.
with the dancing, because it's like, well, I'm in a costume. Nobody's
Yeah, why
gonna know.
not? What are they gonna do?
And I would have these girls come up to me, the pig, and they would try to yell through my big stuffy head, and they were like,
Their phone numbers or something?
they would go, "Are you a boy pig or a girl pig?"
Oh my god! I don't know why I'm just so attracted to you.
Well, you're pink,
Yeah.
so.
But they were coming to check my gender first
But in 2022,
Wow.
before they would dirty
it
dance
doesn't
with me.
matter. It doesn't matter in
It doesn't matter.
2022.
You know what? I just like pig costumes.
I just like pigs.
whatever's
Yeah,
in
no.
that costume. It's for me.
It was just funny.
That's hilarious.
It's funny that you don't think about the gender of Chuck E. Cheese.
right?
You just
You
it's
assume.
Just, it's just Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
Maybe
Or
it's-
Mickey Mouse or Barney or anybody else.
Minnie.
Do you think humans work that way?
Too bad.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry, I should not ask that question.
No. Let's go there.
We got
can go
kicked
there.
out.
Oh man.
You got kicked out of Remington.
We got kicked out of
Which is-
Remington's because we were advertising our show at another
Well,
club.
that's okay. The bottom line, yeah, I can see that as if you were trying to draw that night. It was
But
for
you
that
got
night?
away with it for how long?
We were there for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes.
That's a
Bad.
good impact,
Wasn't
though,
too
on
bad.
a club for a night. You know.
But then when we got kicked out, our bass player, he had about 150 of
Did you
those
just
things
throw 'em?
still in his hand, and
Oh,
he
just throw 'em.
just
Good
slung
boy.
them
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
like confetti.
Was it Stretch at the time?
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Sounds like
so
Stretch.
then there was like 200 flyers of us playing down at the
Love it.
Burgundy Room.
That's a good story,
Do you know that if you got anybody there from there?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't care.
We
man.
didn't care, but
playing.
it was great. I
I
think
just don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't
think
care.
I think it'd be
can't
great
care.
for bands to do more stuff like that.
I think so too. And
it would
just
be
shock value.
entertaining. Flash mob type stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, the flash
So
mob
fun.
disappeared. I want the flash mob to come back. I love the flash mobs, especially the really well organized ones.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Julia Drake Cobb says, I got to wear a funny gorilla costume for a portion of the Bobby Vinton Christmas show. Fun times.
Ooh, very good. Very good.
The Easter Bunny.
Michelle.
Michelle Phillips was also the Easter Bunny at Hickory Hills
Country Club.
Easter Egg Hunt. That was probably 25 years ago.
Nice.
My mama Gail actually played the Easter Bunny
Yeah?
a couple times in St. Louis at like a public Easter Bunny event.
Right?
Yeah.
See, it's a bucket list. I want to do some sort of mascot, preferably something large like the Springfield Cardinals or even like the Chiefs guy.
You mean large as in popularity?
Popularity.
Or the actual character?
I feel like it would not be that difficult.
I want to do it. So
You know,
bad.
even just for a day.
yeah.
I feel like you could get
Just
away with that.
special
Who's
guest.
really itching to be a mascot that bad? You know, like
Me.
it's not
Just
you.
me.
You.
I'm like the only one. I
This
think.
guy.
That guy over there. That guy over there. This guy. Lisa, I have
Just love
spent-
those sweaty helmets.
Yes, that's what she said earlier. She says they're all hot and smelly. Lisa Betancourt says, apparently I'm the audio roast mascot. I sent Tara a pic on Messenger. Okay, we'll have to check that out. I will find that and we will do a screenshot.
How did we get on
possibly.
that? Something about your best friend working at Chuck
Yeah.
E. Cheese. How did that subject get brought up that quick?
That's I don't know. I don't know.
Here's Lisa doing the audio roast mascot picture right there.
oh,
she
yeah, there
is.
you go.
Oh
There she
yes.
is. Yeah. There she is. Studio manager's guest special. She's the guest specialist. There's a title.
Guest specialist.
Guest
Amazing.
specialist. Look at that. All right.
Who picked that photo?
I
I think it was. Yeah, I don't know.
The suit is amazing.
It
I
is
want that
amazing.
suit
Yes.
so bad. And then Dave Plemons is here. Hi, Dave. He's like, hey, kid, sorry I've been MIA. I've been an Easter bunny, a tiger, and the Campbell's kid.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Did
You
not
eat
know
Campbell's
that.
soup?
Jelly.
Like
I'm
you got to
guessing.
sit there and eat
guessing.
Campbell's soup?
I'm guessing.
No, I've never been a mascot. I've been in some plays,
Yeah.
you know, musicals type of things.
Where you got to wear fun
Mascot.
costumes.
I did get to wear fun costumes, yeah.
What plays have you been in?
Oh, high school type of stuff. But somehow at my very small school, we had some great teachers that were invested in choir and art and speech and debate.
Oh,
and,
cool.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. They were amazing. But they put on these really great musicals. And then in a high school with 400 people, we had 100 people in choir.
Excellent.
Like, it was a huge amount of people.
Where'd you go to school?
In our choir. Purdy, Missouri.
Purdy.
Yeah.
You had that big of a school in Purdy, Missouri?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I knew that,
It was
'cause
not
you were-
that.
you were
It was not
Kimberly.
that big.
No, it's not that big. She said 400 or 500
Oh,
for
the
the
whole school.
No, not okay. In the entire school, there's probably like 700.
Oh, I was thinking
But that's-
class.
All the way to kindergarten.
No. Kindergarten to seniors, 700
Nice.
people. In our high school, we maybe had 400 people.
And you still had 100
We
people
had
in the
100
choir.
people in choir.
That's fantastic. So you had a lot to choose from for your shows.
Yeah,
Cool.
it was interestingly competitive.
Nice.
You know, I mean, not in a bad way, I guess. There was a little bit of drama about it, but that's always interesting, you know.
Absolutely.
But I played, I always played like a really good kind of B role, you know.
Okay.
One year,
Supporting.
yes, a supporting role
Right.
that was memorable.
Okay.
We did this spin-off of Sweeney Todd, and it was called Teeny Bob.
Oh my gosh.
The demon pet groomer of Sweet Street. Yes. And at the time, we were transitioning because our school was very, very, very old school. And they did madrigals for a very long time. A very, very long time. So they have all of these intricate costumes that are for like Renaissance period, you know, like just all kinds of stuff. So our choir teacher, she was really resourceful, and she wanted to reuse all of that stuff. So she found a play that would fit that.
Oh,
And this
cool.
was one of them that would fit that. And she thought it was
Wow.
hilarious. And so I got to be Mrs. Lovett. And I had the worst hot dog stand in London, and it was great. And we put on a really good show, you know, because we had such a big choir, like for this little community. They really loved it. And we even had this scene where we brought out a bunch of desserts. And I had this idea because we were like baking for the king. I don't know why I'm going this far into detail about a play
it's
that
okay.
I did in high school,
It's
but
okay.
I'm very proud of myself because
Let's
we
do
used
it.
we used the high school kitchen. Me and a couple of other people used the kitchen to bake some desserts to hand out to the crowd
how
during
fun.
the show. But it was hilarious because in secret, I was making the desserts with the pets that I was stealing from around the city.
Oh my.
And so the crowd is like eating the desserts, and then they're like, "Oh, she's making the desserts
Oh,
with
how
the pets." Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
But that added to the show. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I had some really great experiences in high school with musicals, and we did.
What time frame? What era? 90s, the 80s, 2000s? When was this?
I graduated in 2011.
Okay.
So it was, 2009, I think I got really into my high school choir. And I had been singing and doing other things all along, but I was very into it at that point. And we were the ones that put on the production.
Very cool.
We did Cinderella musical, Rodgers
Like-
and Hammerstein's.
Okay, gotcha. I was going to ask which version or whatever.
So
but-
I was Joy. I was one of the stepsisters.
cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more fun to play the supporting role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
thought it was a
I
lot of
played
fun.
Patsy in Always Patsy Cline at the Landers, but
Nice.
the next 6 months later or so, they did Grease. And I was like, I don't want Sandy. I would rather have Rizzo.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
and I didn't audition, but I was like, it would be so fun to play that kind of part, especially in a musical like that, because she's so nasty. I love it.
Yeah, it was fun, and I got to do it with another friend of mine. Her name was Brooke, and she was great. She's got this beautiful voice. She was like the beautiful girl of high school with an amazing voice and a lot of talent. And so it was really fun to do a duet with her because she was the
Cool.
other stepsister.
Oh, nice.
And so we got to hang out a lot whenever we were learning our lines and learning our song. And I thought that experience was great because I was way too nervous to get on stage and do any kind of solo anything. I was not
Really?
gonna.
Wow.
I was not gonna take the lead role. No way. supporting role, I was like, I feel good here. But I didn't feel good being the lead at all. In fact, I would choke up.
Ah,
Like
gotcha.
I tried and I would choke up.
Gotcha.
Had you been singing how long, when did you start singing? Like were you starting to sing earlier in life, like as a kid?
Sure.
Or did you just kind of start in high school?
I remember singing as a kid and thinking, if I try hard, then I can make my voice do this. You know, I remember singing, but I never considered myself a singer. I think at some point somebody said, oh, well, you're, I remember the moment actually. Somebody said, well, you sound really good if you sing quiet. And I took that to heart. Yeah. I was a kid, you know, and it was another kid that said it. It was just something that I took to heart as a kid.
Okay.
And so I didn't think of myself as a singer or as a musician for a very long time. Probably not until a few years ago.
Wow.
Even though I did barbershop and I did choir, I did honor choir. I did a solo and I hated it, but I did it. I don't remember what rating I got. I know how to sight sing. I know how to play a couple of instruments at this point.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
like
are they?
Well, I could play guitar and bass and upright bass.
Cool.
And that's,
Upright bass. That's nice.
I love my
A lot of
upright
bass players
bass.
can't say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm learning. I'm surprised that more people can't or don't try. You know?
Right.
I don't like the can't. This is,
Yeah, nice.
in fact, if there's anything that I want to talk about in a podcast setting, it's that. It's like
Okay.
people don't
Get into it.
really have a can't.
I don't like can't. You know, just before we get into any of that, when I was a very, very small person, we used to travel the country with my family, like age 4 to 10 or whatever. We used to go nationwide back and forth in a van,
Nice.
you know, going
Yeah.
to the bathroom in a coffee can. Now I'm 52 years old, so I'm a little bit older than you. But we used to do this, and we would stay in KOA campgrounds.
Sure.
And there was this one campground, and I couldn't tell you where it was, but there was some sort of musical going on down the hill from our campground. And I was like, we have to go see this. And it was this character that just looked like a thimble. He looked like Grimace in a way, but he had the word can't written across him. And throughout the musical, it was all about, I don't remember details, but it was all about don't say you can't, don't
Yeah.
say you can't. Because he was so, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this and I can't do that. And by the end of the musical, it said can.
Yeah.
And it was like really good for this little 4 or 5 year old, whatever I was,
Absolutely.
to hear that. Because,
impactful.
and I'll remember that. I don't remember details, but I remember that forever. And he was actually even purple like Grimace. But by the end of somehow he turned around and all of a sudden he had can.
He was can. He
Yeah.
Could. He could.
He could.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did.
Can. So that's very, very
You know what?
wonderful.
That's how it works.
Yes. It's
It's
fantastic.
a magical thing.
We will come back to that. I'm going to touch on some comments that we have back here. Julia says, you might not get to be Casey Wolf. It is still being performed by the guy who originated him over 25 years ago. That's freaking awesome. He had been Truman the Tiger at MU. Previous to that, he's a mascot. He's mascot famous. Well, Julia, it sounds like you're the dreamer, screamer, information, medication person. I don't know. Seems like, well, she is. But anyway. Lisa says,
We got it.
you got to watch those musical theater teachers. I love my ensemble kiddos. They are the best. She's a retired musical theater teacher person awesomeness. And then Kimberly says, Amanda!
Hello.
And Mark LeBrock says, some of these mascot costumes are fun to look at, but often I wonder how practical they are, and Halloween costumes as well when Mother Nature takes a sudden call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm
For
sure.
sure.
It's a dilemma, I'm sure.
It is, I'm sure. Unless there's some way to deal with that.
So, what is it you want to talk about? Can't.
What is it that I want to talk
When
about?
it talks about, I don't like can't.
What's
Okay,
the
how do I
background
get into
behind
this?
that? Yeah.
Well, someone told you sound good when you sing soft, and that is a
That
start.
limited me for how many, like 10, 12 years, something like that. That limited me, something that another kid said to me in class one day. And it's amazing. You know, I've read some books at this point. Like I've done some deep diving into what I want to be or who I want to be and the things that I want to do or want to be able to do. And having to go back and realize like, oh, the only reason why I didn't try this is because I thought that I couldn't do it.
Yes.
You know, that's so sad. Like, how do you get to the end of your life and think, oh, I just thought, well, that's not for me, and I can't, or I don't know how, or things are awkward. How do I get there? So I have a lot of thoughts about this stuff. I want to create my own podcast about this very topic, actually.
Should.
Just taking somebody who is what I think of, and other people think of this too. I'm realizing other people think about this too, because there's a term for it. It's called multifaceted. It's somebody that takes, you know, whatever they're doing, and they I don't know, they make good with it. They do lots of different things, and they're talented in lots of different areas. It's like a jack of all trades, which is what people have always called me. In fact, I had I was working for somebody, and whenever I quit there, because I honestly was being mistreated. I think I frustrated this lady because I was young, but she was mistreating me, and it felt really, really bad. And so I decided to leave the job and go to a different job. And when I told her that I was leaving, she was obviously upset, but she was kind of this like passive aggressive tone. And she says, well, you know, you're kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Oh boy.
And I said, I was like,
excuse me?
and I said, yes. I said, I am interested in doing a lot of different things. I said, I'm interested in doing a lot of stuff more than just hair. And that's how I left it.
Wow.
You know, I was like, I'm good at doing a lot of things.
Good for you.
And it was really hard, because those are the moments where you just like, you either want to crumple and die, or, you know, you want to yell and throw something, or you just want to not react at all. And then you have to say something. So it's like, what do you say when you have to stick up for yourself? It's really,
especially being young
and being somebody that is talented and interested in a lot of different things. And so somebody who's a little bit older, you know, that's maybe felt like, oh, I should have done this. You know, I'm making assumptions, obviously, which could be rude. I don't feel rude in my assumptions.
Yeah.
I think it fits perfectly, because I didn't do something to disrespect this person. And this is what's surprising, is that sometimes when you're talented, or when you're smart, or when you want to speak out, it frustrates people. And then they target you, and then they say bad things about you or to you, or they yell at you if you leave the thermostat on too high. You know, some of the things that I've experienced, just because I'm just like a cute, fun girl who's good at something, you know, and people don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad, because it makes me feel defensive, and it also makes me sad because people settle into that belief that they are just not good at something, or that they're just not good within themselves.
Absolutely.
And when they see somebody else that they wish that they could, to the point where they will be destructive, and it's just a perpetuating cycle at that point. And what I like to talk about is like, hey, well, you can, you know, like, hey, here's a way that you can, you know, like I wasn't always doing music. In 2018, I picked up guitar. I had learned some guitar, and I put it away because I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't go with it. I decided to go for art instead. And I spent my time drawing, and I mastered that at a really young age. And it shows for itself. Yeah. And that's also what I like to show to people. Like, you can be good at something, and it is going to show for itself. You don't have to shove it in people's faces.
Yeah.
When they walk past it, they'll say, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever you put your heart and soul into what you're doing, and you master that, then it unlocks all of these other possibilities in life. Like, because of what I learned in art, I could pick up guitar and I can say, I understand this, you know, like I can't get it out, but I can understand it and I can see it. And so there's just something about, like, you put this energy into bettering yourself, and it's going to flower out, you know, it's going to give you more in every area that you touch, and you don't have to be scared. Like, you don't know how to do this, probably somebody will show you, you know, or you can figure it out as you go. Luckily, we have YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube is amazing. Right. Yes.
People learn trial and error, you know, like my kids are that way.
That's good.
They want to just throw the ball over and over again the wrong way until they figure out how to do it the right way. I'm kind of like that.
Which is great, because if people are constantly just like back in the day, like say someone's giving somebody golf lessons and they do that arm wrap around thing. Yeah. Like, it's like, no, that doesn't work. Because
for some people it doesn't.
No, because you're not gonna learn like that. It's a crazy example, but just let me try it. Let me try it 50 times until I get that one time that I hit it. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me feel what that muscle felt like when I did that. That's exactly the same kind of thing. Just do it. Let people do it themselves.
I think, too, a different point that I agree with you on, it's when you get to a point where you feel like you have mastered something, and even mastering something is a little bit interpretable, right? Like,
Sure.
It could be a mastering that's you're happy with where you're at there. Maybe there's someone in the world that is quote unquote better, but that doesn't mean you haven't mastered it in the way that you wanted to.
Each of us have this kind of scale in our minds that we compare things to. Like, this is what good really looks like. So it's different for everybody. And there's, like if you're looking at realism, then I can draw something that's really, really realistic. And there's still going to be somebody out there who draws more realistically than I do, and yet we are both masters.
Absolutely.
And if you understand the basics, if you understand the concepts, and if you can look at something and dissect it with your mind and break it down and see the patterns, then you can master it.
Yes.
And it's just somehow I think people are lost on this, like, oh, I could never master anything. Like, how could I ever get there? I could never be as good as this person. And
that's something that needs to stop.
And what I was going to say is,
let's go back to that in a minute.
When you get to that point, that's when you realize that maybe guitar is not your thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's a difference between.
Maybe it's just not what you're interested in.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I think there's a difference between giving up on something because you don't believe in yourself or you don't think you could ever do it, even though you really, really want to. There's a difference between that and just like, guitar is just, I don't want to master it because you know the difference.
I think
like when you get to a place in your drawing where you feel like, I feel good about where I'm at in my drawing, you know what it's going to take to get to where you feel good about your guitar playing. And it might, at that knowledge level, you might be like, I don't need to play the guitar that good.
Sure.
And that's a difference between getting defeated
That's
and just
also
making choices.
Kind of like it's like if you're looking at it like a checklist, like in order to get good, then this is what it should sound like. If I'm going to be really good, then I could play this very intricate song. So it's like I need to practice this much every day to get there, when really it's just, you just have to do it every day. And whenever you're doing something from within yourself, like I didn't want to pick up guitar because it made me nervous and uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was comfortable sitting at home drawing because I needed an outlet, because I was a very depressed, struggling 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 26-year-old girl. It goes on.
It goes on and on.
It truly does for some of us. And it starts at a really young age. And so, like, I needed an outlet. Even, from 4 years old, I started drawing consciously, intentionally. I wanted to make it look like something. And I wanted to get my parents to say, this is so good. I remember these moments where I tried. And I latched onto that. And so then whenever I really started going through a lot more, that's whenever all of this comes out of me. And so when you're doing it for that reason, because you need to and you have to, then it looks a lot different than if you're doing it to impress somebody or to even impress your own ego.
Yeah.
If you're doing it to sound really good, then, it may never, ever sound good to you.
Yeah.
Because there will never be a moment where there's not somebody that sounds better to you.
Right.
So you have to sound good to yourself. You have to say, like, I sound good.
Yeah.
This sounds good, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if somebody else doesn't think it sounds good, then that's just fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's okay.
True. And that goes back to what you said a second ago about trying to be as good as someone else. I've taught vocal lessons for 12 years, and it's like one of the things is like, I want to sound like so-and-so, and I want to sound like so-and-so, and that's fine. I totally agree with that. Like we get our influences as a vocalist.
I love sounding like so-and-so.
Yeah. I wanted to be Martina McBride. I wanted to be Pat Benatar.
Feels good.
Whatever. Like, I'm going to try to sound like Reba McEntire. Whatever. And that's cool, because that's how we develop our sound is by our influences. However, when you start to take that to, I'm not as good as them, that's different. That's a whole different thing, because the good is relative. It's all relative.
It is relative. And it's at that point, it's just kind of this oscillating factor that's never going to settle anywhere.
Right.
And the thing that's all hinging on is really like, what's the essence of what's being portrayed or what's being sung, like what's behind the song.
Yeah.
And always connecting with artists that maybe I wouldn't expect because I finally learned what their story is.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, now I want to sing like this.
That's
now
the
I wanna sing
whole
this
reason
song.
we started this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Is we started this podcast in 2018 as audio only to tell the story of these local people who are amazing.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't know how amazing they are, so they just kind of skip on their shows. And we were hoping to give people a platform to tell their story, and that would make people go, oh, now I want to go listen to them.
Yeah, let's make it relevant.
Yeah. And so...
Because I will say the first time I had ever seen you sing was at Marty's at the karaoke, and
Marty's. Oh, yeah.
just a few weeks ago.
you would come in.
right.
I think you were hanging with Paul Tomlinson a little bit, and
I was going to say, I came in on a whim.
yeah,
It was a complete whim. I was driving home. I had a long day, and I'm sure I was frustrated. I don't know, but I
You
was
sang
driving-
like you were.
Thank you.
You
Thank
totally
you.
did. It was amazing.
I was driving past, and I thought, oh yeah, they're doing karaoke. Oh yeah, I know Christy's there. I bet I know some other people in there. And I just within 10 seconds, I was like, pull it
Nice.
in.
Very cool.
I just
Very
thought,
cool.
oh, this is a good idea.
yeah,
Cool. And it was.
because you did come
Because it resulted in
you came
you-
in a
Yes,
little
that's
bit
so
later.
true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a thank you.
I
Yeah.
love it. I'm so
This
happy.
just all lines up with everything we just got done kind of discussing, because when you got up and sang, I can't even remember the song. It doesn't really even matter, but it was like
Susan Tedeschi. I remember it. I didn't have the right one. I got a different one. Go ahead.
it was a performance that, even though I still didn't know who you were, I was like, this is like her. Like, even though it was just karaoke, a lot of people like to shit on karaoke, which I think is actually kind of weird, because I've just in the last couple of months that she's been doing hosting it over there, we've seen some really magical. I've been brought to
Sure.
tears a couple times. I mean, and
Yes.
just your performance felt so genuine, and that's when I immediately rolled up to Tara and was like, who is that? And she knew a little bit about you, and I was like,
Thank
oh,
you so much, you
okay, like, because
For the drink and the compliments. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
because it was just exactly what you just got done saying. It was like it was just whatever it is that you want to do, and if somebody does or doesn't like it, then that's okay. And that was unbelievably apparent. That's why I was just immediately like, okay, we got to figure out how to talk to her, because she just
I love
seems
to talk.
interesting from that one performance.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a true story.
This means a lot to me,
Yeah.
actually, to be invited on even.
I
Means a lot.
promise.
So, yeah, you know what? I think the songs that you sing in the shower when you're by yourself,
Yeah.
they really mean a lot to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you're really going through stuff, especially whenever you use your voice to express that, which I did learn how to do eventually. It was like, okay, I can and should use this to express. So
Yes.
there were definitely times where I couldn't sing because I was too like sad. But man, yeah, you really like connecting with somebody's story on any level, even just hearing it through their music and putting your own story to their music.
Yeah,
That's really what it's all about. That's why we share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Sometimes that's why we
It's like
sing.
an impulse. That's why you sing.
Yeah. I love one of the things, my favorite things about Marty's is a lot of known musicians in town will come in and they'll do the songs that they want to do. Not the ones that they do on their show. I know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and I'm one of them because
Yeah.
it's so funny because my band Violet, we don't draw a big crowd because my whole set is those songs.
Is the ones you want to do.
I'm not trying to do the 80s shit that I did with Bad Habit. I'm not trying to do all that
Yes.
stuff to draw a crowd. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to do so. But my whole Violet set is
just
made
what you
up,
wanna do.
except for about 5 songs, is made up of those songs that I want to do. And so when I'm doing karaoke over there, I see these people come in, like you, like Paul, several other people. Brian Pitts came out the other night. It's like these are the songs that I kind of want to do.
Yeah.
That I just.
Well, Brian said he does.
Well, Brian
songs
had a different little
that
twist.
he wants to do, but he can't play.
He can't play them,
Oh,
so
I see.
he's like, I'll do this Elton John song or whatever.
yeah,
but
there's
sometimes
plenty of
it's
those.
like, it's like the songs that you just can't do in your band. It's
sure,
like,
or it would be a lot to ask somebody, like, can you learn this so that I can
Yeah,
have my
yeah.
5 minutes of glory on stage, please?
Or
I don't know if anybody will ever want to hear me sing this again. Please learn it.
or your 5 minutes of expression, and sometimes it'll turn into something. Like I do the walk from Foo Fighters, and it wasn't a huge hit for the Foo Fighters, but it's
a big one for you.
I end my show with it every single time, and it means it for me, and it's different. And it when people hear it, they're like, "Who is that?" Not a lot. Some people know it's Foo Fighters. I will give them that. But sometimes it's just like I put everything I have into it, so therefore people are like, "What is that?" You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent here.
love
but,
it. This is
but
why we do it.
This is part of the fun of karaoke. I know there's a lot of karaoke that's kind of whatever. People can shit on it all they want, but
just party karaoke.
Yeah,
and then there's like, you know,
and then all of a sudden,
some of these little pocket places.
Yes.
That's why whenever they started posting that you were going to be there, I was like, this is going to be a really good karaoke.
it's different.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's some places in town that I'm just not as comfortable going, and not because of the place, just because of some of the random people that will come in, you know, like
Right.
whatever side of town it's on, you know, like maybe whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And some
So-
karaoke hosts will only let you do certain kinds of songs.
Yeah.
And so,
And I haven't done that much karaoke in my life, if I'm being honest. I've been to karaoke like 5 times.
Okay.
And, you know, great experiences.
Sure.
Every time, except for maybe the first.
Maybe the
First one was okay. It was not great. I was not a singer. I was not a lead singer at that time.
so are you actually born, raised around here or Purdy or wherever, or did you grow up there? Or
I'll give you my whole life story.
okay,
I was born.
that's what I want.
I was born in Germany.
Oh, wow.
My dad, he was in the military for a little while, and so we moved to the States whenever I was a baby. You know, so I was raised here in Missouri from the time I was 3, and I grew up in Aurora and Crane. I went to school in Purdy. So yeah, pretty much. I'm just from around here.
Nice.
You know.
Small town girl.
Yeah, small town.
Just a small
Very
town
small town.
girl.
Purdy's got like 1,200 people.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. Aurora's like 7,000. They
Yeah.
finally got a Taco Bell.
Right.
Finally.
Right.
I don't live there anymore.
Right. You here in Springfield now?
Yes, I am.
And you said something about hair earlier. So you were a hairstylist?
I was.
You
Yeah.
were.
Whenever I was, when I was a single mom at 19, I was bartending. At 19, I was bartending and going to hair school, and
Shh, don't tell where.
yeah, I won't. It would probably not be a big deal, but
Not now. Whatever.
not now. All these years later, but I went to hair school while I was working and bartending, and then I worked that job for a couple of years, and then I got pregnant with Laszlo, and at the time I was not only taking care of my kid and myself, but I was also helping take care of Drew's other kids, and so it was like, okay, I'm gonna stay home now.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I just stepped down from that job.
And he had a few, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 3 others. And yeah, so I was like, well, I'm out of here. And then I let my license expire, and now I just kind of cut hair in my kitchen sometimes if somebody needs a haircut.
Right?
Oh, through the pandemic, through quarantine, people needed haircuts.
Yeah?
Like really bad.
Because all the shops were closed.
Yes, all the shops were closed.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, I don't give a shit about masks. I just
Right.
need my haircut. Can I please come over? And so I made a bunch of money. You know, if you don't have a license, then you can just ask people for tips. And so that's what I
Right?
did.
Legally.
Yes, legally. I
Right.
was like, tips. That's all I can ask for. And they're like, well, how much? And I'm like, honestly, I don't really
Up
care.
to you.
It's up to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. What,
That's cool.
I would just say whatever God puts on your heart.
There you go. Right? Yes.
That
hand
works
it
around
over.
here.
That
Around
works.
here.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes people will be like, here
yeah,
you go.
just make
Like,
it rain on my haircut.
like, let me pay your rent. I don't know.
Is hair and licensing like that hardcore?
I mean, if you call it hardcore, they charge you money. They make you take classes and tests. And then if you don't renew it every year,
But if you cut without a license, you can get actually in trouble
kind of.
if you make
If you
money
go
at
about
it.
it in a certain way, like if you were to open a salon and be like a working salon, then you would get in huge trouble. If you're just cutting hair in your kitchen, then it's not a big deal.
Right,
Nobody's going to
right.
come and do anything. If somebody reported you for it, they'd be an asshole.
Yeah,
you know?
Right,
totally.
right.
It's kind of like that. Like technically you could kind of get in trouble. But
you're gonna go to someone in their
that's like-
kitchen and then turn them in.
just
that's like
cutting hair.
if somebody could prove that you were charging people as clients and putting yourself forward as I'm a licensed stylist and you're not,
Right.
then you would get in trouble. If you're just saying, if you're like me and I'm like, my license is expired, but I can cut your hair and I can
Right.
accept tips, then they can't do shit.
Right.
So that's kind of the route that I went.
Right.
I was
Man,
like,
I'm
not gonna
today's
piss with
year.
you.
I'm today's year old finding this out.
Are you?
I guess it must just be to protect the schools that teach and all that
Well,
kind of stuff.
it's also some sort of a health thing.
But you're just cutting hair.
I know, but there's like the
They like
health
to-
department wants to be in on this.
They do. The health department is very, very, very much in on this.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
if you are going to be an operating salon, the health department comes by religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you're like operating and the health department's not coming by, they're not cool with that.
What most are they checking on that? You just don't have hair on
Your
the floor?
barbicide a lot.
Oh
they
my
go
God.
and check your barbicide
The blue
levels.
water.
Yes, the blue water.
The blue water where all the combs are. Mm-hmm. Make sure you put because nobody
They
wants
look
to
around.
share combs.
Mhm. They test things. They do stuff.
I'll be damned.
Grief.
Yeah.
It's
You could get in
actually
for
kind of
rubble.
funny.
You learn something every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you haven't been to a hair salon very much.
I've only had my hair cut in a salon maybe once in my life.
Yeah. Well,
I used to just pull it up and just.
I shaved his
Chops.
head one time on the show.
nice.
Cut it. I don't
Not
care.
shaved, but
Amazing.
I've never cared that
I
much.
cut your hair all off. It was all
I did a
over.
4-hour hair ordeal one time,
Yeah.
and I thought I was going to break out in hives. I was so I hated it so much.
Well, back then he was bleaching his hair. It was yellow
yeah,
blonde.
but that was just
You just did that.
Someone just did it
Yeah.
on the bus while we were between
your
gigs.
bandmates.
Oh my gosh. On the bus
Well,
between gigs.
Yes, one of the
Incredible.
bandmates' moms was actually I don't know if she was licensed, but she
had
had a
experience,
home salon where people would come get her
like
their
she
hair.
just talked about.
Right.
For tips and tips alone.
You
Maybe
have to
a little-
it has to have its own door.
Amanda's cutting
Has to
hair
have
for
its own
tips and tips
interest.
alone.
a
Tips
little
alone.
It was a little more. Sounds like it was a little more official. I mean, it was within the house, but she had a full on like real
It
chair
has to have like its own water
and a
heater
hair
and
dryer.
stuff.
Right?
She had like the hair dryer.
Did
and
she have the sink with the little neck
shampoos.
thingy?
Yeah, I had to build
Oh.
cabinets for it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so
that's
she
very
did do all
cool.
that, but I don't know if she cared that much about being licensed.
No, probably not.
But anyway, she was the one that bleached my hair. I
She
never
had
had
fuck
it
you
done.
money, so who
I
cares?
never had it done in a salon,
Got you. Yeah.
but I did color it red one time.
Red? Like
Yeah.
this color red?
No, like wine red.
Oh.
I used to color my hair red all the time.
Yeah, I did that one time, and it took like 3.5, 4 hours, and I was like, I will never,
Do
ever
that again.
do that again.
Why is this necessary? Because then you have to keep coloring it red.
Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't just stay.
I used to color mine every
just
month.
Me being able to sit still for 4 hours
Too much.
Impossible.
was impossible.
Unnecessary.
Oh, I hated it.
Yeah, I had purple, I had red, I had pink.
Oh yeah, I did the black and pink, and
I had all kinds of shit
Yeah.
until I finally said, "Nah, let's go gray."
it's beautiful.
natural.
I hope that whenever I go gray, it looks like yours.
Thank you.
I think
it's
about this,
it's so
actually.
fun. It's super fucking
I'm laying
fun.
in bed at night and I'm just like, when my hair goes gray, I really hope it looks like Tara's. Please, God.
I've been told that, and I realize how lucky I am that it's all silver like this.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
a lot of people don't get to have this, so I'm
It's beautiful
realizing
because people will pay for that. A lot
Yes.
of
Oh,
money.
yeah.
I was at a doctor appointment with my stepmom the other day, and this lady was just like eyeballing. She was eyeballing. We were in
Who's this
line.
beautiful woman?
She's eyeballing, and she comes over. She goes, "How do you get your hair that color?" And I was just like,
Comes out my scalp.
Wake up.
It grows out of my head.
Yeah.
And she's like, "My son is trying to get this hair color, and he's been trying for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks." And I said, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
I said he can use purple shampoo.
Yeah.
Diet Platinum and go purple shampoo.
But you started going gray in your 20s.
Yes, I was early.
Early 30s.
No, my first grays were 16. I was 16
I
when I
see.
discovered it. And
Yeah,
so then
she
by
was destined to be white.
by late 20s, I started coloring it brown.
Very cool.
My natural color. And then later on, I started going all crazy, and I got purple and all kinds of crazy. And then I was just like, no, let's just do this.
That's awesome.
It's super fun. We have tons of comments.
Hair
Okay.
journey. Oh, we
Let's
have not
catch
been
up on
paying
some
any
comments.
attention to
Tons
you
of
guys.
comments.
We're busy.
We apologize. We're having such a good
wait,
time.
go back. The name Laszlo.
Yeah, so Terry Jones says, "Hi, Tara and Tara's hubby."
Hello.
Never be
And-
known as Tara's hubby.
And Michelle Phillips says,
That's
"It's
fun.
karaoke over at Marty's. It's not
Karaoke.
karaoke. It's
Who said that?
karaoke." Michelle
Amazing.
Phillips.
There you go. We need to
Karaoke.
change that to karaoke.
She actually sent me a private message that said, you need to bill it as karaoke. And I'm like,
And you didn't tell me this?
No.
She's trying to make it work.
Dude,
It's
that
so
is
weird.
awesome.
It's-
No, it's awesome.
I'm not pretentious.
Karaoke.
But
Karaoke.
it's not pretentious if he puts it on the
That's
flyer.
true. That's
so
true.
there's your
Right,
loophole.
right.
Oh, it's karaoke from here on out.
He's taken over. It's
Karaoke with my
decided.
tall, with my
Your comment worked,
tall
Michelle.
bouffant hair.
Karaoke.
Give yourself a round of applause.
So Julia. Julia says, Lisa Betancourt, how do you feel about the musical Rock of Ages? How would you feel if the Stacey Jacks character were played by a woman? Hashtag hire me. So Julia, if you don't know Julia, she is a musician. She sings with the band called Bender. And she's also the manager of the School of Rock in Kansas City area.
So cool.
She's awesome. She's always watching the show.
I will say that I've literally been under a rock. Until
Yeah.
2018, I started to come out of it.
Got
So
you.
if I don't know who you are and you know who I am, I'm so sorry.
It's kind of why I'm explaining this, because we
Yeah.
have some people here that know you, but you don't know them.
Yeah,
so
well, people have just been around, and then I just kind
Sure.
of was like, hi.
whatever, like us.
Yeah,
I know
Hello,
I met
hi.
you. I met you before that karaoke moment.
probably. You know, honestly, like I've been
Karaoke.
around. I've been at shows. You know, I've been going to
Yeah.
shows for years. So.
Can't freaking remember, but yeah. So let's go back to the comments. So Lisa's back with a response to Julia. She says, "Love it. I love doing things with that rolls with that like that with rolls. God, I can't read. Let me try that again. I love
You
doing.
read like Jared text.
I read like Jared Isaacs
Slow
text.
down.
Totally.
Slow down.
I do.
You don't
Hit
have to be a
send.
radio DJ.
Hit
Just
send. I love doing things like that with rolls.
Throw a couple of more of those in there before the show's over.
Right. She wants to spit up her White Claw and roll through her nose. Yeah, there you go. Right on. I'm open to all ways to perform a role, especially if it aids in the storytelling. Abso-freaking-lutely. And Julia also says, yes, in karaoke, I love to sing Teenagers by My Chemical Romance, and no one gives a crap except for me because I love it. Do what you dig. Karaoke is for everyone.
It truly is.
Absolutely. Mark LeBrock. Hi, Mark. He says, on Sundays over at this assistant living facility where I work, they have karaoke. Well, that's kind of cool.
Oh, we're
Karaoke?
going there.
Yeah,
We're
that would
going.
be fun.
Write me down when,
Yes.
when my
we'll
time
meet you
comes.
there. Which one?
It's a lot different when 80 or 90-year-olds are singing. Oh my
Don't
God.
wait on your
Don't
time.
you
We
think
should go now.
They would
go.
get a kick out of it.
I would
They really
freaking
would.
love that.
Oh man.
Holy
You know,
shit.
they hate when acts come through sometimes. Sometimes those old people hate that they're being wheeled out there to watch something that they don't want to watch. I bet they would really enjoy our
Oh, it'd be
karaoke.
super fun.
That's true.
We could actually put something together. And Jared says, "Hi, Jared. He's here. I am. You're rocket queen.
He's the rocket queen.
He's our rocket queen. Dan, you've overkicked your coverage for the room, buddy. What does that mean? What did I miss?
Overkicked your coverage for the room.
Dan, you've overkicked your coverage for the room, buddy.
Are you saying
LOL.
there's something wrong?
Is that Jared Isaac?
This is back about.
He knows what he's talking about, right?
This is about 10 minutes ago, so I
Oh,
don't
no.
remember.
For the past 10 minutes. Something's
Yeah, so something.
Overkicked your coverage. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Please reiterate. Lisa was prompting your show on their show. Right? And then Jared says no comment. So we have a thing. You know Jared from Audio Rose.
I love
We have an
Jared.
ongoing thing that he always
So
promotes
funny.
his show on our show. So that's kind of what they're kibitzing about here.
Hilarious.
So Terry Jones says bleach blonde Dan for president 2024. Need to bring that back.
By the way, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but Terry Jones voted for me for president this last election.
He wrote you in?
Yeah.
He literally wrote you in. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember this.
I'm not joking.
Is there ashtray?
Do you have a lighter that I can borrow?
Absolutely.
I think I have half a cigarette in here. No, I have a whole one. Dang it.
I have more if you need more.
I don't even want a whole one. I don't smoke cigarettes.
But that's a true story. I'm not
So pull
joking.
it out of my purse.
So I got a write-in from him, and I got a write-in from Mama Gail.
Yeah.
So I was voted for president, I think,
You
twice.
had 2 votes.
I want to say someone else wrote me in, but I
2020?
know I at least had 2 for 2020.
Shit,
Yes.
I should have writ you in. Writ you in? Writ you in? Written you in. Oh,
And Terry
written.
Jones was one of them.
Oh, really? And Terry Jones says also, Karaoke is funny. I've hosted karaoke for years.
Yeah.
Right? He's been a karaoke host. And then Jared says what he's talking about earlier, that means he's surrounded by 2 people who are too pretty for him.
Okay. Now
Thanks,
what?
Jared.
What was the comment?
Let's go back. Dan, you've kicked your coverage for the room, buddy. I don't know this trendy youth lingo. I'm sorry.
What does that mean? Do we
Jared
have to
is
get on
not
Urban
a
Dictionary?
You've kicked your coverage. Oh,
Somebody shared a photo I can't remember maybe it was Jared's birthday. Whose birthday was it? Was it John's birthday recently?
Jared's was recent.
I don't know.
We've had a shit ton.
Oh, yes. Okay, so somebody shared a photo, and John Booth was in it, and Jared was in it, and I saw the two of them together, and I was like, oh my God. This is the young John and Jared. This is incredible. I could not stop looking at it. I was like zooming in and looking at their faces. Like, this is amazing.
They're such babies.
They
right?
were. Oh, I loved it.
Oh, how funny. Funny. Eric Wynn says, hi, Amanda.
Hello.
And then Jared also says, Google out punt your coverage. And Jared says, and the Rocket Queen was a lyric from a Guns N' Roses song, Rocket Queen. Yeah, I don't pay attention to Guns N' Roses. I'm sorry. Mm-mm. Sorry, Jared.
Never have before.
Never.
Anyway, I don't know why I wouldn't know.
So we have some official information from our Screamer Dreamer medication information.
Oh, here we go.
Urban Dictionary calls out kicking your coverage when you are in a romance with someone who is much better looking, smarter, richer, etc.
Okay, I get it now.
No, you get it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that term at all.
This is great.
At freaking all.
These are wonderful comments.
They're good people. We got good people.
You guys are amazing.
Yay, freaking hell. So Bleach Blonde Dan, so we did a roast for his birthday, his 50th birthday last year.
I think I heard about that.
Totally freaking roast. We have video. We're going to maybe post it someday.
Yay,
and I
do.
told him that he needs to bleach his hair for that night.
Yeah.
And it's going to fall out. I'm too scared that it's going to fall. I'm 50 now. I used to do that shit when I was like 32.
Hold up, she says.
Because there are some hairdressers out there that would baby your hair and it would not fall out.
Right?
Mm-hmm. But if you use a kit from Walmart, it might fall out. I have experienced this.
Hey, I'm not going to mention the hairdresser, but I went to a hairdresser to get...
No. Okay.
Because I had been dyeing my hair black for years, and I wanted to do like a reverse ombre of purple. And my hair was about this long, and I lost all 5-6 inches.
Man, I'm so sorry.
And so it was, and she was a professional hairstylist, and she bleached the shit out of it, and it turned into like...
So sometimes...
And then it went just...
Frizz.
With black, sometimes they're like, some salons will be like, we'll just power up, power through it, you know?
Right. She powered
Get
through
them
it.
blonde.
Yeah, and that's when I had my soccer mom haircut, as you call it, in that picture right there. You can't see it, but...
My hairstylist, I will gladly give him a shout out. His name is Mason Gold, and he's amazing. And I've known him since he started doing hair at 18, whenever we both worked at Details. And he took my hair from the weird... Well, it wasn't quite black. I had stopped dyeing it black, and I had started going to brown for like a while. And so I was like, man, I really want to go back to my natural. And he really helped me get it there.
Nice. And
now he's been taking care of my hair for all these years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Where does he work now?
He works, he actually works, he and his wife have this salon suite with City Studios, and they're under Gold Studios online. So you can look them up under Gold Studios.
Cool.
And they work over by Highland Springs in this City Studio suite, who actually, by the way, another shameless plug for myself, but they asked me to hang up some artwork there for them. They want me to create some pieces to hang throughout their whole building.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm really excited
Let's
about
talk
that.
some more
Very
about
cool.
your art.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Talk about it. And is there anywhere we could look at it?
Hopefully it's City
Like right
Studios
now?
soon.
Like right now?
Well,
like online?
like- Right now? Is there anything
online on my
online?
Instagram, on my art page on Facebook under Mandy Ray C. It's on there.
Yeah, look up some of
I'm going to do
those.
that. You carry on a conversation while I'm kind of Googling.
Well, we were just asking her to start
if you
talking about her art.
Go to my, maybe it's there. I don't know actually.
Art? Mandy Ray Art?
Mandy Ray C.
Let's Google.
Down,
Right here? No.
down. No, go back.
Oh,
Because it's a page, not a person.
oh, got you.
So down in the next block,
Here.
right there. Yeah. So this is my art page. This is what I did today, actually. This,
Oh.
not the drawing there, but that painting right there. I went over to Jordan Valley and painted today.
And this is what you did just today? Right there. Look at that. Mandy Ray C. Mandy Ray C. Go
That's
check
what I
out
like
her
to do
art.
sometimes.
Nice.
Show some of those other ones.
Yeah, this is just a sit around and paint what's in front of me type of deal. It's
that's
not an accurate depiction of
So I'm gonna
what
leave
I
that
would.
up there. We can just. Kinda...
These are the resin pieces that I create for Mason.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
these
I-
are resin.
Yeah. I build these frames. I build these boxes out of wood, and then I usually paint them white, and I use gold on the inside because he, Mason gold. So
Yeah, yeah.
try to make a match. We do different colors, different styles.
So is that
every
like
few months?
3D? Is it like
Kind of.
when you
It's
say
different,
resin? Is
it's
it
a couple
like
different
thick?
layers of resin. Yeah,
Okay.
you take this liquid epoxy. It's liquid plastic, and you
Okay.
mix it with paint, and then you pour it, and it swirls around. It mixes itself basically the way that you pour it. Kind of. It's really great because it's abstract and it's it's fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just expressive. And then I always do accent stuff. Like I took some leaves from a plant that I got for my birthday, and I it's hard to see just because it's metallic paint.
Yeah.
So, but I stamped the leaves on there in metallic paint to kind of give it some accents. So that's some like,
Right down there, the bottom right. Like here.
yes, and up
Yeah.
at the top too. So you can see it's shiny up at the top and it looks dark down at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Thank you.
Let's look some more.
So that's some
What-
abstract stuff that I do.
What else? Like this right here?
So that's some realism stuff. I do a lot of portrait work.
Oh.
This is a chef. Somebody hired me to do some chef portraits for their restaurant.
Awesome.
It was great.
Very
Good.
cool.
Is that just regular pencil or is
That's
it
charcoal.
Charcoal.
That's a painting of a dream that I had. This is
Oh.
my living room, or what it used to look like. I've moved everything in my house now.
How fun. That's a dream you had.
Dream
There's
that I had.
some of your
You should show them the
Mediums?
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
If you maybe go up. Oh wait. Oh yeah, Bill Murray. That's a good one.
right here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that.
This is a painting that
Oh
I did
man,
for
so
somebody.
good.
Holy crap. Yeah, that's so good.
And that one's large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big?
It's big. It's like 4 feet.
Nice.
Yeah. I
Very
like
cool.
to do things kind of large.
Jared says you can see some of her killer work at my studio. he
Yes,
says.
so Tina Turner is going to be hanging over at Jared's studio.
Nice.
I guess if you scroll through those pictures back towards the beginning, then you'll find it. But I'm going to build a frame for it. I picked up the wood to build a frame this week.
Oh, excellent. So where is this Tina Turner? Nick
Go-
Smith says hi. Damn. Nick
Hello.
Smith. We know Nick.
Nick Smith, my
So
nephew.
go up.
Oh, your nephew. So
My
go up.
ex-nephew.
Yes, down again to the photos. There,
Right here.
in the second row. Yeah.
Look at that shit. Holy
man,
crap.
So that's big.
yeah.
That's another like 4 feet wide type of
Oh, that's awesome.
painting.
Have you gotten into doing prints yet, or do you
No.
just the original stuff?
No, I guess I wish I could get into prints. I don't want to push things onto people, so I just get a lot of different types of commissions and a lot of portraits.
Man, that's really good. Nick Smith says, always your nephew.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a joke.
It was just a joke.
I was just
he's the drummer
joking.
for Machine Gun.
Oh, hello. I did know that actually.
Yeah. There he is. That freaking painting is amazing.
Thank you.
So you're selling your stuff. Do you sell it?
I do sell stuff. This isn't one that I have considered selling. Like this is one that I did for me because I like it.
Yeah.
So I told you in high school I was very into old Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I started drawing portraits from such a young age. That was a big expression for me, is just drawing people and faces and whatever. But I got into drawing old portraits like Marilyn Monroe. I've drawn, I don't know how many times, and they'll always sell.
Nice.
And so I'll just pick somebody that I want to do. I did, who else did I do? Frank Sinatra,
cool.
Audrey Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart, just...
And you also do actual commissions where someone will come to you and say, like the chef and stuff, and you'll get paid for that kind of stuff and sell it
Yes.
per se.
Usually I give myself kind of an hourly. And I haven't had this page for very long. But like those portraits down in the bottom, like those are my grandparents. They both passed. And
Here? Mm-hmm. This one?
my grandma
Put it
and
back up there.
my grandpa.
That's awesome, though. Very cool. And this one. That's really cool.
I did that one in I can't see what it says, 2016 maybe.
This is 14?
14? Oh yeah,
I think it says
because
14.
that's the year he died. So
Oh, gotcha. Very cool. I respect art so much. I can't.
Those are
do
fantastic,
that
Amanda.
shit.
Thank
This
you.
is really,
Yes.
really good.
Is
Is this a painting?
That is a drawing.
Oh my God!
That's charcoal.
Look at that drawing.
This is one of my best friends, Larissa.
Holy shit!
I'm actually going to hang this at City Studios, I think, and advertise portrait work with this.
Look at that! Look at the hair! Holy shit!
So I took this reference photo of her myself, and then I drew from that.
very good.
It was probably 20 hours of work.
Oh man!
And the others that I've done have been much shorter, like much shorter. But this one I put a lot more hours into.
this expression on her face is really cool.
She's amazing.
And
She's
you
such a
caught
wonderful
that.
person.
You caught that.
Yes.
Is it charcoal also? Oh man, that's good.
Charcoal is my my go-to,
Nice.
and I've used all kinds of mediums over the years.
Very cool.
Dabbled in just about everything, and
What was the Tina Turner? What medium?
watercolor.
Watercolor.
Yes, and I did use some metallic paint.
Okay.
On top of
Just
that
accent?
for the dress,
Nice.
because the dress was like sequins, and I was like, what am I gonna do?
you have to go and put
How am I gonna
Right.
make these look reflective?
little
you know?
dots everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't even like sequins; they were like jewels or something.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
cheated.
So good. Freaking so
cheated.
good. Wow, that's cool.
Did
Thank
you
you.
take any kind of whatever lessons?
Classes?
Yeah, classes, lessons, or did you
I
literally
didn't-
just start at 3 and go from there?
I started. Yeah, I was 4.
4.
I would carry a notebook and a pencil bag with me everywhere, like obsessively, until I was probably 12 or 13.
Nice.
And I think people thought I was weird. My mom was was kind of embarrassed to tote me around, I guess. But I was just this like neurodivergent kid, and I needed something to focus on. I didn't want anybody to look at what I was drawing. I would like hover over it. I would not let people see what I was drawing. So I just to my core, it's like the first thing about me is art and drawing. It was like my first love. So. I did take classes in junior high, like Kimberly. She was my art teacher in junior high school. And I remember my art teachers very much impacting me. And I think that's because they saw me drawing. And so they made a point to say, hey, you need to keep doing this. Hey. And whenever I was in elementary school, our art teacher, Miss Smith, I think, it doesn't matter. She had an aneurysm and she survived, but she had to leave because she had an aneurysm, and she came back at the end of the year to see all of her students and to let us know that she was alive and okay.
Wow.
And I remember I was so upset that she was not okay. And, when she came back, she was just like, you just got to keep doing this. Like, you got to keep doing this. And I took that to heart too.
Yeah.
So I've had some amazing teachers.
That's great.
In
such a small school, which is great.
Oh my.
I love it.
And Kimberly, she was amazing. She was so wonderful. She was like, let me give you this creative freedom. She was all about that. Like, let kids be who they are.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
And it was weird, because not anybody else in the school was really like that.
Especially in Purdy, Missouri.
Especially in Purdy. And Mrs. Doan, who was my high school art teacher, she was like the boss, and she was on you and she was nagging you. And I hated it. I even wouldn't take her class, but she cared so much. And she pushed me so hard that I just excelled, and she made a point to make me excel, and she didn't care that I didn't like it. She would
Good.
She would make me go back and tweak my stuff over and over again until I
Nice.
was upset with her.
Yeah.
And she would be like, okay.
And you breezed over Kimberly because we talked about her before the show, but she's talking about Kimberly Nutter Butter.
Yes.
A frequent watcher
Our
of our
frequent
show.
watcher and good friend
man.
of the show.
I've known her for like, how old am I? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
you-
almost
a little
20
while.
years now or something.
A little while.
It's been a
Longer
20
than we have.
years.
I can't say it's been that long.
Probably.
It's maybe been that long. Yeah, because I grew up with her son. We were
Yeah.
kids
Right,
together in
right,
school.
right.
So yeah, I've known her since I was a very small kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's talked highly of you privately, but just we're hanging out. We're good friends with Kimberly. So yeah,
We
she's,
talk about you behind your
Yeah.
back.
Thank you so
Totally.
much.
Yes,
And so
yes.
that's another thing that where we met you, but we didn't really meet you
Uh-huh.
is through Kimberly. She was talking about you. Yeah. And she was saying, I
That's
just got to see I think we actually were at one of Wicked Shimmy's first shows with
Probably,
you.
yeah.
And I think that's
One of the
probably
rough
what
cuts.
it was. One of the rough cuts, yeah,
Yes.
if you will. When they were still trying to find their
it
new
was-
identity.
It was like,
And-
here's a binder with all the words.
Yes. So I think that was one of the nights that Kimberly, we were hanging out with Kimberly that night.
She came out to see me.
And I can't remember if it was riff or shuffle or something. I don't
think it
remember
was
where it was.
shuffle.
But it was, she was like, oh my God,
She's been supportive since day one.
Which I love about teachers. Some teachers are like, and I'm like, I used to think like, how do teachers remember their students? But I've been teaching voice for 12 years and I'm like, yeah, I totally get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. I remember that little 5-year-old who's now 20 or whatever. Yeah.
And you should.
100%. And it's real cool. It's real cool.
They impact you back.
I'm needing a potty break.
Ooh, yes.
You are?
Do you want to do a potty break and play a little live cut?
Yeah, we could.
Speaking of Wicked Shimmy,
yeah.
which is the band, we haven't even talked about that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the band that you
I'm in
sing
a
in
band.
currently. Oh, yeah, she's in a band.
I do music.
Oh, yeah, I do music too.
Yeah, we have a live video here.
It's a video. I'm forcing them to play for you.
Yeah, we're underneath the table. She's kicking us.
I'm like, you better.
She's totally just kicking us.
I have very sharp shoes.
Ow, ow, ow. So I'm gonna find it again real quick, and you guys can let's see. I had it. Why? Oh, because I went with this. Okay, let me back up. There it is. No, wait.
You have it on another tab, I think.
I thought I did, but it's gone. There it is. So, una más. I'm gonna mute this for a second.
So we'll take a potty break while you play this video from Wicked Shimmy.
And so this was from, it looks like April.
Yeah, just a couple months ago.
Wicked Shimmy.
It also looks like those pants are to die for.
Yes, they
Hello.
They are the most comfortable pants I've ever
Sexy
had on
pants.
stage. They don't move, and they're not constraining at all. They really fit.
When you
Yeah,
can get
they got
comfortable
some
and
stretchy.
sexy in
Yeah.
the same thing.
Got some
Yes,
stretchy.
this is what
Then
I
it's
went
a
for.
win,
I was like, you know what? It's hot outside.
So let's do this with this cute little top you're wearing. Okay,
Yes.
so we're gonna take a little potty break and we're gonna play this little song. We're just gonna let it play. Also, it's some foo, and I love me some foo. So here we
Foo
go.
Fighters.
So Foo Fighters. Some Foo Fighters. There it goes. We will be right back.
Searching for something that comes never to nothing. Those who the guys all night long, day. When it comes around, it's different.
So let's talk about Wicked Shimmy for a minute.
Yeah, let's
talk
do
about
it.
some Wicked Shimmy. How long you been in the band?
Ooh, going on 2 years, or it's like come up on 2 years maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
So since
right at 2 years.
since the pandemic.
Since right after the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That summer. It was. I think that it was in June even when they made the announcement, or when they asked me to audition. I can't recall.
Did you actually have to audition?
I did audition. They
Okay.
asked me to.
Really?
Yes.
So where did they find you?
I was singing with City Girls. I was singing backup harmonies with the Eagles tribute, and they came on for a song, and I didn't know them, didn't really talk to them. Just remember that they came on for a song, and then they had to start auditioning, and I think Ben Russell told them that they should ask me. He was like, "Hey, Amanda would be really good. You should really ask her." And I didn't really know Ben Russell. You know, like these are people that I had just kind of met in passing, and they just thought, "Oh, well, she's good. Just give her a shot."
He's a guy who loves live music.
Yes,
He loves
always
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
always out. He's always a supporter. He's awesome. He even takes pictures for us sometimes. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. And definitely for this, just like him suggesting that, you know, for me, like having somebody say, "Hey, you should audition this person." You know, that's what I would go for. I would never want to say, "Oh, I'm going to go audition for this band. I heard they're having open auditions. I'm just going to go do it." I'm just not that way. I don't think of myself that way.
Right.
And I wanted an opportunity to sing more, but I didn't want to go and ask for it. I wanted to be asked.
Oh, I can relate.
Yeah, so
I can totally relate.
I was very thankful that they did, and I was a little nervous because I was like, "Oh, I haven't done this before." But they had me come in, and I sang "Are You Gonna Be My Girl?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, "We knew when you sang that one."
Nice.
So this is
we
the
wanted
first
to.
time you've been the singer of a band.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So before this, you weren't singing like other than just random.
Harmonies. I did some bluegrass stuff.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
I love bluegrass, and
You got some bluegrass background.
yes, and I'm in a
Oh,
bluegrass band now.
I'm
Are
intrigued.
you really?
New bluegrass band. It's called Kith and Kin.
Kith and Kin.
Kith
Spell
and Kin.
Kith, like Kith?
It
Kith?
means friends and family.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they were going, you know, for like a year before me, needing a bass player, and I have the upright bass, and so I got plugged in a couple months ago, and
Oh,
now
that's
you
great.
know we're even meshing our original stuff together.
Oh
It's
my gosh,
going
that's
really well.
brilliant.
Yes, I'm loving it. We're gonna try and shoot some video stuff on Monday just to kind of put it out there. Like, I was like, guys, bring your coveralls.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's
So
do
have
it.
they
God, that's so
have they
cool.
been around a while, or did it just kind of all
No,
start
you know
forming?
what? They're just some really nice guys that get together and play, and they thought, well, it'd be cool if we could play out sometime, you know. And I'm the one that's like,
Yeah.
Let's do
let's go.
this.
And they're like, we needed a boss. Thank you so much. So I'm like, here I am, the boss. It's cool. No, I mean, we're all just anybody that I would do music with. We get along, you know, and I
Nice.
get along with people in general. Anybody,
Yeah.
but anybody that I'm like in a band with, it's like, hey, you know, we're checking on each other, like we're supporting each other, we're bouncing ideas and being, you know, collaborative, and
Yeah.
it's very fulfilling. And I love bluegrass.
Where
That's
did
cool.
that come from?
Bluegrass, oh,
Loving
man,
it,
I
yeah.
grew up in Missouri,
Yeah.
going to
right.
Silver Dollar City, walking around like
That's cool.
Yeah.
bouncing, you know, and you know, even the church that I grew up in, we had a bluegrass group, and I just always have loved it, and the harmonies that you
Yes.
get into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I like. And I was always a harmony singer. I was not a lead singer. I had to try really hard to be a lead singer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to hear that because we hear you as such a strong lead
Thank you.
vocalist.
I've had some people that have intentionally built me up. You
Nice.
know, like my bandmates, they have intentionally built me up. They said, you can really do this. You need to just realize that you can do this.
Oh, they're telling
Very
you
cool.
the truth.
Yeah.
I'm
They
telling
are.
you. That,
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, it is true. And I think that anybody could really do the things that they set their mind to. And they were like, obviously, you want to do this. So
Yeah.
you should just.
There's no can't.
There's
no can't.
There's just no reason to have the can't. I mean, you know, everybody has obstacles and stuff.
Yeah.
And you have limits. Everybody has
and
limits.
like you said, you know, maybe something's not for you. But
Right.
maybe it is.
Yes.
Right.
But maybe it is.
Yeah, and I'm you know not proud to say that I don't think I've seen Wicked Shimmy with you singing with
We
them
have
yet.
not.
That's okay.
But-
you saw it there on the screen.
I
saw
did
it
see
right
that,
there.
but I'm just still going off of that karaoke 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, and I was just like, who the hell is this?
Oh, and I want to get more into like this bluesy stuff or funk. I love all kinds of music, but
just your performance, not even just your singing, because
Thank you.
It was kind of cool, and you were just a little bombastic. You were just doing your own thing, and it wasn't like standing there at a mic. And I loved it. I think you might have even had a long neck in your hand.
She had a long neck,
I
and at
did.
one point she set it down on the stage.
Yeah, it was super cool.
I just want to add
And
to sorry, go ahead.
you need that kind of stuff to be a front man,
Yeah.
front woman. It's not just the singing. It's not
No,
just
it's
whether or
everything you're
not you're a
doing.
great singer. There's all kinds of things in the way that you move. We
you want
were
to watch how you step and
I
stuff.
think you were still going to the bathroom when we were watching that part in the video where you were head to head with John.
Quinn.
Is it John?
Quentin.
Quentin.
Quinn.
Quinn. And you were kind of doing that kind of stuff. And those are all the things that make up somebody who knows how to front a band,
Yeah.
beyond just being able to sing.
But
So,
what I
mean,
like
think
is
that's
it's
great.
some of it's not even know how to front a band. It's organic and natural.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's
telling
the
you,
best.
I close as soon as I start getting nervous and I feel like I'm losing my spot on that song in particular. I close my eyes and I think about singing in the shower because that's where I learned that song.
Yeah.
Or driving my car. Like I close my eyes and I think about driving my car
Yeah.
because I mean, maybe that sounds a little cliche. It really does actually coming out of my mouth, but it's true. You just have to close your eyes sometimes and put out whatever
Yes.
is going on around
Let it
you.
go.
Yes.
Just let go.
I do that
Absolutely.
a lot.
Because being able to do that particular art form, meaning lead singer, it can't be taught.
No.
I just really don't think it can be taught. I think it can be inspired. I think you could see somebody else maybe throughout your life and be like, oh my gosh, I had a great time at this particular show where somebody did this particular thing on stage. I think you can be inspired, but I don't know that you can give a lead singer
What they need.
class. I don't think you could do
No.
a class or a curriculum. I don't think you could go to
right.
like a college and take lead singer 101.
What I always
You
say,
can't teach it.
You have to have that performance.
Yeah, not
in the first place.
Not the way you sang the karaoke song the
Right.
other day. That couldn't be taught.
What I
that
try
was
to
just
say-
that was just where you were. You were just coming in on a whim. You decided to sing a song. You saw a couple people you knew, and it was like that was cool. That's what when I first brought it up, I said it was so genuine. It felt so genuine to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
what I try to teach, if there's anything that I can actually teach when I'm doing vocal lessons, because it's a lot more than just la la la's. I don't. There's a lot more talking than there is
Sure.
actual performance in my lessons. But I also try to give people permission
Yes.
to
That's a big
step away, step
That's a
out of
big
that
word.
box. And there was one person in particular. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was in a band. He was a rhythm guitar player and a harmony singer with a band, a 90s grunge band. And one of the things he was like, the lead singer keeps telling me just to sit there and do my parts, and I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, no, you need to do what you feel. It's a 90s fucking grunge band.
Right.
What in the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, I am giving you permission to step this way, step that way, move back and forth,
Sure.
and do just whatever you
Well,
feel.
yeah, do it and see what happens.
I'm not going to tell you the steps and choreograph anything for you, but I'm giving you permission to try that on stage.
You know, sometimes when you give too many ideas to people, then they don't know
Specifics. You don't give specifics.
what to do. Yeah, you literally just have to give
Yeah.
them
But at the
permission
same
to do it.
time, bandmate oppression fucking can suck it.
It can
That
eat
sucks.
the fucking
I
dick.
don't
Yeah.
do that.
Fuck you all who do that.
Yeah,
Anybody
I don't,
who does
I
that
don't
to your
do-
bandmates.
Yeah, like somebody like telling me
Been
this
there,
and
done
telling
that.
me that, and I don't do it to anybody else either.
No.
It's stupid.
First
It's
rule in
dumb.
our band is don't be a dick.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a great first rule.
You know, and-
second rule, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. You know,
Third rule, refer to number 1 and 2.
sometimes we get told no, or sometimes we say no. You know, and it's just always respected.
Yes.
It always is. You know, they like to hear us out. And then, you know, what I've found is there's always a way to kind of, if they say no to a song, sometimes they just need to hear it at a different moment. You know, like
Right,
there's a certain
right.
amount of like chemistry and figuring each other out.
Yeah.
But when you have that and that first rule, you just treat people with respect. And that's the great
Absolutely.
thing that I love about these guys, because that's just how they are as human beings to anybody that they encounter.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
just treat them with respect. You know, I've never seen them yell or lose their cool at me or at any other person in this world.
Right.
And it's like that's so valuable. You can't get that somewhere else. Like I would take that over popularity.
Absolutely.
I would take that over the best fucking guitar player in town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
And
agree with
that's the thing to clarify. What I was just saying is, being constructive, being a band and being constructive.
You have to
that's
be
not what I'm talking
constructive.
about.
Yeah.
Right. That's different.
I'm just talking about someone being a dick.
Yeah.
No.
And the jealousy.
And we know a guy right now that he just won't sing background vocals. I mean, he's a fine singer and he's got parts in these
nervous.
songs and he won't do it. He's nervous
But there's a reason.
because an old bandmate of his used to make fun of him when he would sing.
That sucks.
And now he won't sing anymore,
won't
which is
sing.
exactly the story you just told about, hey, you sing, you sound better quiet. It's like that can last. We had Paul Tomlinson on our show a
He's
long
a
time
60-year-old
ago.
man, too.
Like episode 8 of our audio. And he told a story about a guy that told him
You know, Paul.
some kind of a rant. Yeah. Well, I said Paul Tomlinson like she don't know who
Yeah.
he is. When Paul was on our show, your good friend Paul.
My good friend Paul.
You know
Love you,
that
Paul.
guy.
Yes, I know
Those
him.
guys.
He told the exact same story that you had. It was a little different, but somebody had kind of criticized his voice when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he didn't sing for like 12, 13, 14
And
years.
he's
And even when he did start singing, he was just incredibly self-conscious about
Yep.
it. Until finally he started getting around people that would affirm, like, dude, you are really good.
Yeah.
And now he's gotten more comfortable. But
I've
that was a decade or more.
recently given this book that helped me a lot. And I like to read books, especially the introspective, spiritual, or like,
Absolutely.
psychological, scientific, whatever. But this book, it's called Effortless Mastery, and it's by Kenny something. I can't remember, but it's great because it's all about letting go of your ego and like, what does the note sound like?
Yeah.
Does it sound bad to you? Why don't you just tell yourself that it sounds good and see what happens?
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
it. Because that's it. Like every note that you play is perfect. And if you say, that's perfect, that's perfect, that's
Right.
perfect, then you're brainwashing yourself in a positive manner.
Right.
You're
right.
really undoing a lot of negative self-talk whenever you do that. And just giving yourself permission
Yes.
to like sound bad. Maybe it sounds bad. Hey, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's also so relative.
Yeah.
Like what is perfect?
Well, because some of the most, I mean, I don't know if I would use the word confident, but some of the most successful singers in all of music history
Well, they don't sing perfect.
do not have perfect
No.
voices.
No,
Right.
and you know what? Being like a tribute artist, trying to execute what somebody else has done out of, what's the word? Like from this voice within themselves, like to emulate that is amazing and skillful and
Sure.
talented, and it takes so much mindfulness to control your voice and to make it sound like somebody else's song, and that's amazing. And it's just coming from a different place. It's a very technical place, and then this is a very like vulnerable and like, what's it gonna sound like, and am I gonna remember how to sing? The way that I sing when I'm emulating somebody is different than the way that
Absolutely.
I sing
Yeah.
Yep.
by
Yeah.
myself.
Yes, and I've spent most of my career as a cover artist, and so most of everything I've done is cover songs, and most of my best and most high paying shows have been singing other people's songs, and so cool,
frustrating.
awesome, it's
Yeah,
great,
it's awesome. Yes,
great,
it is.
and early in my career when I was about your age, I was like, I want to sing like so and that was actually paying the bills,
Sure.
because I was 5 or 6 nights
I
a week
know.
playing the road in all these country bars that wanted basically a live jukebox. Awesome, cool scene. I did a great job. But there was this frustration with me. I didn't know what my voice was. I didn't know what I sounded like. Who am I? I'm just trying to sound like all these 17 different artists that I'm trying to do.
Right.
And so bring in my friend Kathy, who she was playing blues. She was playing country. She was about 14 years older than me. She'd been in the, as she used to say, been in the business as long as I have. She was such a cool, she has passed away, but when she was in the band, she was like, you need to do some Etta James and some
Yeah.
Aretha. And I'm like, I can't do that. Can't. I can't do, I was 25, 27
yeah.
years old.
Instead, you just
I can't do that.
When
And
did you
she-
start though? When, did you start doing some Etta James?
As soon as she said so.
Yeah, you start, and then how?
And then now I'm like, oh my God, without her or someone like her,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't think you can ever achieved that because I was sitting in my little comfort zone, doing a good job, doing what I needed to do. And then all of a sudden, and so when you meld all those different versions of these voices together, I have a voice now. And so now when
Isn't
I
that
do,
amazing?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Now
all
when
your
I do cover
inspirations.
songs, I don't sound like them. I don't even try to.
No.
I don't, I've done Journey for years. I've done whatever artists and tried to sound like them. And now if I do any of those, well, when it was my job to do Patsy Cline, that's different.
Yeah.
But now when I sing a Patsy song, I sing it like me. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know what I am. Well, you'll find out.
You really do.
You'll find out.
You find it along the way.
But
you kinda have to.
sometimes it takes someone who's very inspirational to you to
Yeah.
go, try this,
So, absolutely.
do this.
The amount of people that have just
He
whispered
has
in my
helped
ear,
me.
like, just try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
He
only
has
reason that
helped
I'm
me.
here.
He pretty much puts about half of my Violet set list together, and I'm like, I can't. And now I'm doing freaking 2 Foo Fighters songs and whatever.
9 Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails. I'm doing some freaking Audio Slave. I didn't think I could do that scream in Cochise. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Just get it out bad a few times at least.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
And then you figure it out.
Dude, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Get it out bad a few times.
Yeah.
And you'll find it. And
You
I
really
have
do.
I have gotten
Get
it
it
out
out bad a few times.
Oh, that's so good.
My car. My kids. They're like, Mom.
Stop.
But I love the wisdom that I'm hearing from you. And you're so young. And I know you're very young. And the wisdom coming from you is
I've
very
put myself
cool,
through a lot.
which is good. It's really good, and I hope it's inspiring.
I forced myself to be
Because
wise.
it's really neat to talk to younger people. We've had some younger people on this show that have been really inspiring in that way. So it's really cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. Even though you were born after I graduated high school.
Yes, you were.
A lot of people around here tell me that.
We could be your parents.
Yeah. There you go. There's that
Can
one.
we just adopt you and call
Yes.
you our daughter?
Yes, here I am.
That'd
Thank
be
you.
so fun.
Okay, but when you die, I want this to. You leave me this in your will.
Absolutely.
You
This
get the rose.
This was a gift from Jody Guy and Sandy Cotton.
It's really beautiful.
Do you know
I love
Jody
it.
Guy from
I
Papa
know
Green
the
Shoes?
name. I know the
drummer?
name.
They gave us this for.
I know a lot of
holiday.
names. I've heard so many names.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
is what's interesting, like from my perspective, is all of the people that I hear about as I'm going along. And then eventually I run into you guys.
Yes.
Right.
Like
Right?
so many people that I've met that I'm like, oh, I do know you.
Yes.
Like, hey, I've heard of you.
Totally.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
heard of me. Cool. Like I know people that I don't know. And that's really, I like that.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
super
yeah.
freaking fun when
It's
that happens.
a little scary, but also comforting. You know?
Right. And it expands your friend group.
It does. Yeah.
Super cool. Super cool. Do you need another drink? You good?
No, I'm good. I actually need to cut soon. 'cause I'm
Okay.
trying-
Yeah, that's right. You want to go over to Nathan Bryce, right?
I do. I'm trying to go see Nathan Bryce.
Right.
Yeah.
So say something about that. We'll go ahead and.
About Nathan Bryce?
Yes, go ahead. Plug
Well,
that
I'm
show.
gonna-
Go ahead.
Okay, Nathan Bryce, they're over at the Rift. They've got their album release show going on right now. I don't know. I'm going to try and get in, maybe sneak in the back door. They don't have. Surely they'll let me in.
Yes.
But yeah, they've got their new album Dragonfly. It's amazing. I've been listening to it all week.
We love Nathan.
And
Yes.
there's a song. Is
Honey?
Honey Mouth on that song?
Oh, yes.
On that
yes,
record?
it is. Yes.
So, quick
That-
story.
That song was inspired by this podcast.
Right.
We
no kidding. I had
well,
no
kind
idea.
of. Yeah, we were hanging out doing a live show with him a couple
well,
years ago.
Yeah.
And
Was it live or was it the interview?
No, it was live. And before we kind of went live,
right.
we were just sitting around shooting the shit. We used to start our shows totally different than we do now. And Amy Oberbeck was here from Just One More, and
She's cool.
she was making these drinks with this honey and shit, and somehow the word honey mouth came up. And
I wondered because I'm like, that is such a great line.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that song.
And so Nathan actually said something like
On the episode.
he's
yeah.
like, oh, it's going to give me honey mouth or whatever. And then he said, that would be a good song.
Oh, he's such a cool guy.
And
Yeah.
we were
The more
like-
that I hear and learn about him, he's such a cool guy.
And there's a whole moment where we are all like, oh, that would be a good song. Honey mouth, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward almost a year. And he texted us actually. He's like, "Hey,
So
I just
cool.
finished a song. It's Honey Mouth,
Yeah.
which is from the podcast."
Right.
we did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I wondered.
The audio
Yeah.
version of that is episode 37.
Okay.
But there is a video on our website that we recorded right here in this very studio. It wasn't live necessarily. It was live that night.
Yes,
it was. It certainly
I
was.
already told you it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we do have the video available
When Tom
on...
Hembry was doing live shows with
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Well, anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to have her back because
Oh my
I
gosh.
feel like
I
there's
would love
still.
to come. Please bring me back.
Yes.
Let's
I love
do this
it.
again.
Yes,
I want to
love
let you go
podcasting.
because I know you're anxious to go see that, go be a part
my
of that
ride is
event
here.
tonight. Yeah,
And your ride is here.
Yeah,
And your
Vanessa's
ride is
picking
here.
In that awesome Bronco.
Yeah. Yes.
And so we won't keep you too much longer, but yes, please, we got to come back and talk some more.
Absolutely.
to.
So Amanda Ray, thank you so much for being
Amanda
here
Ray,
from
yes.
Wicked Shimmy.
Thank you guys for having me. This is literally my dream. So
Nice. Yay.
that's what I would like to do with my life.
Awesome. Very, very cool. When's your next show for Wicked Shimmy?
July 9th.
Okay.
We're going to be at Archie's that weekend.
Okay.
And I'm really bad with numbers. It's either the 8th and the 9th or
Somewhere
the 9th
around
and the
there.
10th.
First weekend.
Early July.
It is early July.
You're
and
watching
you can
Archie's.
definitely see it on our Facebook.
And you're
Very
doing
cool.
like the Friday, Saturday thing?
Yeah,
like
at
Archie's
Archie's.
does a lot? Okay.
Very cool. And check out her art, Amanda. What is it?
do.
Mandy
Mandy
Ray.
Ray C. That's
Mandy
how
Ray
I
C.
signed my artwork
Yeah,
for
check it
years.
out. And we need to talk later about getting some of your art.
We'll buy some.
Oh
of your
yes!
art for
Oh my
sure.
gosh! Listen,
I
it
wanna
doesn't
buy
stop
something.
here. I make leather guitar straps too.
Oh, shit.
Like it
All
doesn't
kinds
stop.
of crazy stuff.
I don't stop.
So we're gonna have
Yeah,
to.
we
We're
need
gonna
to
have to go
do
again.
a second edition to get all the rest of your shit.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
amazing, Amanda.
Oh, you
This
guys
has
are
been
amazing. Thank you.
freaking fantastic. So I'm going to scroll all the freaking, the shit that we talk about for supporting the show. If you want to support the show, there we are. It's going around the bottom of the screen. Thank you all for watching. This will live on YouTube. We're going to cut it from YouTube for a while, and we're going to get some snippets from this. So if you're watching this in replay, there's all kinds of good stuff happening on YouTube with the clips. So look for that with Miss Amanda. And this is Dan and Tara, and we are out.
We are out. See you guys.
Bye.
Tune in live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central.
On the Unsung Screamers Facebook page, YouTube channel, and Twitter.
And check out our Unsung Screamers podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah!